Yeah, yeah. Making her way to the mic. They start dimming the lights. You start feeling alright. From Birmingham, home of the Teddy Longs and the Ruben Studders. More once you discover. For all of the lovers, Whitney Houston and Roman Reigns. For all of the lovers, and Mickey James and Marvin Gaye. For all of the lovers, and Sasha Banks, Janelle Monáe, Silk, Sonic, and Paige. Allow me to say, look, I just found a place, sweet escape. Every one of us, I was kinda late, I just made it off the struggle bus. Walking by the fate, cause I know it's right in front of us. Yo, I ain't with the hate, gotta focus on what's great. Ladies and gentlemen, Steph Hardy is on the air. Had to drop a couple bars just to make you all aware. So, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. You know I go by Joe or the rest of the flow, yeah.
Hey y'all, welcome to a new episode of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast with your girl Stephanie Hardy and of course the new co-host Bianca Addison. What's up, Bianca?
How's it going? How's it going? What's up, Hardy Wrestling Podcast community?
Woo woo! Well, Bianca, this is our second episode together. How you feeling after the first one?
Feel like, how do I feel? I feel good. I feel like have lots of growth. I'm learning a lot. I'm growing a lot, and again, I'm very excited to be on board. And I'm happy to be a co-host.
Absolutely. How did you feel seeing those clips sort of float around? I know it's not like the first time where we did one episode together. Now we've done a couple where we've had more stuff to say and more clips of stuff to say. So how did it feel seeing yourself, posted everywhere as I do when it comes to posting the content?
It was exciting. You know what? I look back and I have I hear myself and oh my God, I have so much work to do in terms of my fluency and and, and my stuttering but this is what I want to do for life and the career. So, um, um, yeah, it was, but it was interesting. It's interesting. I hope.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be okay once you get used to it and once you get more comfortable.
Yeah.
But I am still very much happy to have you on board. And we are here for this new episode called Delusion as Designer. This is the second episode that is named after a phrase that our NXT champion Ricky Saints used in a promo. So I think maybe we're reaching a certain point where Ricky Saints is just gonna keep, you know, throwing out all kinds of fun and amazing phrases that I'm gonna name my episodes after. The more promos he cuts, the more episodes I'm gonna dedicate to him. It's getting out of hand. Um, the first one was our past episode called "Folded Like the Shirt You Got On," so please check that out if you haven't already. But yeah, if you guys are watching us live, thank you because I know SmackDown did just go off, and you could be doing anything else in the world, and you're watching us. So thank you for watching us live on all of our platforms, on the Hardy Wrestling Podcast, on the YouTube and everywhere else, Facebook, Twitter, all the things. And of course, you can watch us later on YouTube because this will be up on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel, share the clips every time you see them. And of course, as our conversation moves forward tonight, you can comment. Excuse me, my voice is going in and out because I'm fighting back a cold.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's okay. Basically, if you hear anything or anything resonates with you on tonight as we're talking about stuff live and talking about wrestling this week, please comment, and your comment might even show up on the video. You never know. But of course, with every episode of HWP, we've got to start with news and gossipish. And of course, since we are dealing with so many changes with championship titles, even as recent as tonight and as far back as last weekend, we got people saying all kinds of stuff about these title changes and all of the above. So we're going to start with Conan. So for those who may or may not be as familiar with Conan, he was a WCW wrestler. He's Cuban, and you've also, in more recent months, or basically this year, you might be more familiar with him with his work with AAA on commentary once they got acquired by WWE with Worlds Collide, the very first one that happened this year. And he is a very prominent figure when it comes to Hispanic people in wrestling. But he had some pretty unpopular things to say about the new WWE Women's Champion, Jade Cargill. Now, of
Lord.
course, Miss Jade, who we will get into a little bit later on this show, did win the WWE Women's Championship off of Tiffany Stratton last weekend, the way that we predicted and hoped would happen. She won that title, and we're so proud of her and that accomplishment. And she won that title in dominant fashion and in
Mm-hmm.
fierce fashion as well. But Conan had some stuff to say on a podcast he was featured on. He
Football is
said, um, excuse me. He said, she looks like a star, but she's not championship material yet. She needs to be able to lead people. And then he went as far as to compare her to Liv Morgan during her first reign as SmackDown Women's Champion. And he said, it's like when Liv Morgan first got the championship, I was burying them by saying that she's too green. Why did they give it to her? She's not ready. And while he also elaborated that while Morgan was not ready for her first run, she eventually developed the skills necessary for the position and talked about her growth once she became champion again this past time. But I feel like he also mentioned um Jade's look um and how it should not just be, oh, it shouldn't just be just because she's over that you give her the title. It needs to be her being able to lead in matches and also being able to cut promos and such. And I feel like his criticism of Jade has been basically sounds along the lines of what a lot of people have been saying about Jade throughout the years, even before she even got to WWE. I feel like a lot of people were criticizing her even while she was in AEW because she wasn't initially like a wrestler. She started off as basically a manager and then a wrestler who did not have, as much skills as the other women in the AEW locker room, but she developed them over time. And then eventually, once she did develop those skills over time, she became more and more dominant with her presentation in ring, and she was able to actually, move forward with the way that she has, becoming a tag team champion and now the women's champion of WWE. And here's how I feel. I think that a lot of the criticism that Jade gets is unnecessary and it's overblown to a degree to where I feel like they're only coming down on her this hard because she's not only just a woman, but also because she's a black woman who's very dominant. And there have been people who have not been as skilled, who have done a whole lot in wrestling, but yet they don't get criticized nearly as much as she has. And I just don't feel like it's fair at all. I feel like the development that we've seen from her over these past 2 years that she's been in WWE, which is crazy to think about, it's been 2 years, has been absolutely incredible. She's learned from the best. She's faced off against some of the best. I mean, her match against Naomi, not only at Evolution but also at WrestleMania, she showed a lot of great growth there and a lot of great strength. And even with her tag team work, she shows more confidence. So I feel like, people are coming down on her a lot, and it just really upsets me to see that they pick her apart so easily, but yet there are so many people who might not have had the experience that she's had, but yet they don't give them nearly as much criticism. So, Bianca, tell me what you think about this, about what Conan said and what you've seen other people say about her.
I think people forget the fact that was handpicked, or was handpicked by Mark Henry. a
Mhm.
WWE Hall of Famer. Um, if he didn't believe in her and her potential, she wouldn't be where she is right now. Same with Bianca Belair, and yeah, I would say the former ring announcer, but that's another story. But I mean, it's the same thing. So um, yeah, people forget that she. Why? I don't like that because like she does have she does have potential, and she was she she's been a champion, and yeah, going back to the race card, people like always like look down on her because like she's a black woman, and it's and it always comes from non-black people,
Mhm.
and I just wish this would stop because black people, because people of color are very talented. People of color also have potential. People of color deserve to be in the same room as people who are not black. So this whole race thing and this whole like these sexist comments, because like maybe they're just maybe they're just like sad because like they can't be they they know that they can't be in their prime, they're not in their prime anymore, so uh, they're jealous in a way
Mhm.
because they wouldn't because they wouldn't make those comments if they weren't jealous. I don't know. It's just very tiring, and it's just very exhausting. We talk about what Goldberg said about Julia,
You mean
and
about Oscar?
this.
Yeah, you said Julia. It's us. Yeah, with what he was
I'm
saying about
sorry, Oscar.
Oscar.
I love you. I'm sorry, everyone, about Oscar, and yeah, just it's just very tiring.
Yeah, it is very tiring because I feel like when it comes to black talent, they sort of expect them to do 10 times as much
Yeah,
to get half as
yeah,
much. And it's just kind of like, bruh, like
yeah.
it's like if these people if the Goldbergs of the world and if so many other people of the world don't have to jump through all these hoops, then why do they have to?
Right.
And honestly, Jade has already done enough. She's already proven herself enough. Now, of course, there's always room for growth. There's always room because this isn't her ceiling. Like
No.
with her winning this one championship, she could go on to become women's world champion. She could
Yeah.
go on to win so many different things and make so many different accomplishments. Like she has only scratched the surface in my mind. So I feel like, the sky is the limit for her, and even the sky isn't even a limit for her because of course she's a storm. That means she can go wherever she wants to. So honestly, I just feel like, she shouldn't have to jump through all these hoops to prove to any of these people, whether they be legends or not, that she's, good enough to be a champion. Because honestly, it's like you said, if she wasn't good enough to be a champion or wasn't good enough to be in this position, then, Mark Henry wouldn't have, touted her and all these things.
Yeah.
So Jade is fine. She is just fine the way that she is, and that's all I have to say about that.
Doesn't have to
Black, she does not have to change.
not at all.
We
Yeah.
we love we love category 5, okay?
Yes.
Um, on this show. So yeah, I wanted to discuss that. But also in speaking of, amazing black women, we have an update on Miss Bianca Belair. There was an update from Fightful Select saying that she could be on the verge of a comeback in early 2026. Though the potential for her returning earlier than expected hasn't been written off, and this was a more positive update. Whereas first it was saying that they didn't know when she was going to come back. Of course, she had been out with those broken fingers from WrestleMania in that heck of an amazing triple threat match between her, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky for the Women's World Championship, baby. They tore the house down and they took my breath away because I was there to witness it. It was
Oh,
nuts. But she broke her finger in 3 different places. And she had also broken the joint too. And so because she had broken the joint, it caused her finger to noticeably swell up, but it also affected her knuckles. But the good news in the idea of this early return, that means that she wouldn't be missing any major events, starting with the Royal Rumble that's in Saudi Arabia on January 31st, and
Oh,
both nights of WrestleMania 42 taking place in Las Vegas again, which leads people to speculate and highly speculate and highly tout that she could very well have a big moment at WrestleMania against Jade for the championship now that she has turned heel, and it could continue the whole cyclical storytelling of the big three and its disillusion. So I'm really ready to see that. I do miss Bianca so very much. There's just, it's like, even though the women that we are currently working with are doing a phenomenal job, like, don't get me wrong, they've been doing a phenomenal job filling in the voids and everything, but the EST just gives everything, you know. So from one Bianca to another, how are you feeling about this update?
I love I love that she's missed. I've missed her presence, I've missed her energy, and before I move on, she has an amazing name. She has her skin color. Ooh, matches mine. I love it so much. But I digress. I
It's okay, girl. I feel the same way about Stephanie Vicaire and Stephanie McMahon, so I get it.
and you're
I clock
laughing.
it. It's all right.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This, things like this just make us realize like we're supposed to be WWE fans, and it's no coincidence that we share
Mm-mm.
people in the business that we love so much. Like I love it. You know what I mean? It's great. But
Yes.
it's just no coincidence that like me sharing in names with WWE wrestler, just I live vicariously through her because like growing up when I was a teen, like I wanted to be. That was one of my goals. I wanted to be a WWE diva, wrestler diva, but um, like my I'm not like mentally equipped to wrestle, so like I need to figure out, like the goal and aspiration to work in the WWE is still there. So that's why. So that made me realize, that made me think, what can I do? How can I still be in the ring without wrestling? So that's where. So when I realized I can be a ring announcer and seeing the black woman ring announce, that opened the door for me. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair returning is very exciting, and yeah, I just hope it's. I didn't realize that she's still injured. I didn't realize that it's.
Mm-hmm.
But speedy recovery. Come back soon, and yeah, I can't wait for her return, and a possible heel turn maybe. She's been faced lately, hasn't she?
Yeah, she has been facing. She's stated in past interviews that she feels like if she were to ever turn heel, the people who she thinks about the most affecting from
Yeah,
her heel turn are the children who look up to her, because
yeah,
kids love her.
yeah,
Like, love her all the way down, especially little black girls. So she
yeah.
wants to be a good example to them. So she feels like if she were to turn heel, it would affect them like very very badly.
Like
So
John
I
Cena.
just so there's a, yeah, exactly, like John Cena, because a lot of people did say that they feel like she was basically the John Cena of the women's division, and I definitely see that. And my thing is, you know, I feel like if two out of the three members are of the big three are heel, then why should she be a heel? Like, keep her a face. Like,
Yeah,
please, like, let her stay on the bright side of the mountain,
yeah.
please. Let her stay on the happy side of things. I want her to be an EST and let me to just cheer for her. Not saying that I would ever boo Jade or Naomi, because I'll never do that. But I'm just saying, just in terms of being a baby face, I want Bianca to just stay a baby face. She's fine the way she is.
Me
She's
too.
fine.
Yeah, I
So if
agree.
she comes back as a face, I'm straight. I'm
Yeah,
good with it.
I I
But
agree.
I do miss her greatly, and I just can't wait to see her return and just slay us with her excellence. Because my God, she can. That woman is just a phenomenal goddess of a person.
Can we give
So,
her flowers for holding it down during like the press conferences and
oh
her
yes,
when she like during the WrestleMania announcement and
hmm
did another appearance, but she's holding it down for the women's for like the women's division, and she's a great
exactly.
representation for the women's division. And seeing her and speaking up, even if she didn't want to be there, even if she wanted to, but yeah, I'm happy she was there, and I'm happy that a possible return, not a possible, it's not it's, but it's just a matter of when.
Exactly. Like she's just a great representation of womanhood, period. And also just a great representation of WWE, period. That's why they ask her to do so many of these things. But yeah, oh my God, like her holding it together and just being so eloquent with how she carries herself. She's just an icon.
Yeah,
She's a future Hall of Famer.
yeah.
She's the icon. She's the moment. I love her all the way down. And
Another
my
person
mama loves her too. So so
another
yes.
person who was scouted by Mark Henry.
Exactly. Clock it, Bianca. Yes. That just made me excited. I was like, yeah, make those connections.
Yes,
Okay.
the
I love it.
smartest,
I love the
fastest,
facts.
quickest,
I
the
just got excited.
prettiest.
If I get excited and say yes and yell, just know that that's a good thing. I'm sorry. Uh,
We love
but
you, Bianca Belair. Whoa.
yes, and now moving into other things on the heel side of things, Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio were part of a lineup promoting Lids, which is a hat company, and their all caps ad campaign, which is for the holidays, which started Thursday. So they were in it. Stephen A. Smith, Quavo, Chase B, who's a celebrity DJ and producer. Um, me and you, who are global DJs, and Peter Rosenberg were a part of the campaign. And they participated in photo shoots and commercials, which were very comical to say the least. It was almost like them at a store and saying, oh, all caps. And Liv Morgan was being all loud and everything, like, oh, yeah, all caps. I'm talking to you in all caps. But it was really meant as a campaign for the caps that Lids sells. So big ups to them for being a part of this holiday campaign. As you can see, Dominic is wearing his San Diego Padres jersey. Um, and it's very interesting the timing of it all, considering Survivor Series War Games is coming up, and that's going to be in San Diego. And that's where him and Ray are from. So we're going to get to that in a few minutes too. But I just thought that was really interesting. I love seeing wrestlers in commercials like this
Yeah.
because you just never. It's like you're seeing them outside of the regular Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night bubble that you're used to seeing them in. It's like during a regular day, you could be doing something, and boom, up pops Liv Morgan. Boom, up pops Dominic, and it's just really cool. So I like this for them.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm this with Survivor Series coming up, and this and all of these appearances. Who knows? Maybe it's this month, isn't it?
hmm
Maybe
It's this month.
Liv Morgan will be a part of the War Games. This is
I
a build
don't
up.
know
Too
this
soon.
war games. This war games this year. I feel like we
There's a
we might be getting more than one war game smash. We might be getting three. I'm not entirely sure. There's a lot of there's a lot of chaos happening on
yeah.
both shows. So I don't know. We'll just gotta wait and see. But either way, this was really cute and cool. Also, Liv was at the premiere of Stranger Things with her
Hmm.
designer and with her gear designer, and that was really cool too. Even though people on Facebook thought that was like her boyfriend, her new boyfriend, and he was just like, "No, I'm literally her gear designer. Let's stop." Um, but yeah, I just love seeing wrestlers pop up in places and in commercials like this
Yeah.
because if other athletes can do it, then wrestlers can do it. Like, let's do it. Let's just keep it going across the board. I like it.
Is that what they call kayfabe?
Uh,
or is that a whole different term?
What do you mean?
Because like she's out, she's not like she's a. I mean, she's not like on TV, but like is she still work? Is this part still part of like the WWE contract, or
Oh,
is it
you mean like her showing up with her designer on the red carpet? Yeah, that's
that?
outside of kayfabe.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be breaking kayfabe. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not to
But if
sound
she,
stupid or anything, but
yeah.
what people will be like, "Oh my God, is she serious?" I don't care. Be quiet, people. What exactly is kayfabe?
Okay, well, this is a really good moment. I'm glad you're asking this question because there might be people who might listen to the show who might not know what this means. So, I'm of the notion where if you are a wrestling fan, no matter where you start, if someone asks you a question as like a diehard fan, you should just answer it. So basically, kayfabe is where, say for instance, in kayfabe, you see Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio together as a couple on TV, right? On Raw, right? That's in kayfabe. They're a couple in kayfabe, right? So that's
Yeah,
in gimmick. That's within the gimmick of the Judgment Day, and they're a couple within the Judgment Day, right? On
work.
television, huh?
The work.
Yes, that's the
Work.
work, right?
Okay.
But then in real life,
Yeah.
you would see Liv Morgan walking about single,
Yeah.
in her regular life, or, if she decides to take a picture with another guy that she just so happens to be in a relationship with, or if Dominic goes out in public and takes a picture with his actual real life wife, that's breaking kayfabe.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, so stepping outside of WWE, not in character.
Yes.
Got
Yes.
it. Okay. Okay. Where did that term come from?
I don't really know. It's essentially, I don't know really the origin of kayfabe, but I know it's really old. No
Okay.
shade to any older wrestling fan out there who might listen to my show, but it is, an older term, from back in the day.
Oh,
So, yes. So I can't say where or when or who started it,
yeah.
but it has existed within wrestling for a very long time.
Wow. I
Yeah.
thought like a Gen Z millennial term. Wow, I didn't know it was that. Oh
Oh
my.
no. No, it's not a Gen Z or millennial term. Like it existed even before millennials and all of that.
This.
So,
Right. Wow. I'm like.
yeah. It's okay. Yeah.
Wow. You learn something new every day, ladies and gentlemen. The more you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Super
Yeah, and
chat.
I have no problem explaining concepts like that to people cuz I mean, cuz sometimes, you know, if you're a wrestling fan, there's those wrestling fans, who love wrestling but yet don't know all the intricate things. So,
Yeah.
we have to have an open mind and
Yeah.
teach people and not be toxic about it. Be like, "You don't know what that means," and da, da, da. No. No, 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 no. Let's not
Yeah.
do that.
I see the
This is a safe
comments.
space.
Yeah.
This is a safe
Yeah.
space.
I see the comments. People are mean.
Yeah, people can be mean, but we're
Yeah.
not doing that here. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I pressed the
Yeah.
wrong button. But
Yeah.
yeah, um, big ups to all of those amazing people getting to be a part of commercials. And there was something else that I really wanted to talk about. So, Trish Stratus,
Oh,
she's always so good at breaking the
wow.
internet. And she posted a cover of Bodyscape where she was on the cover of in this amazing swimsuit.
Yes, she was.
And honey, I
Mm.
swear, I just, she
Serving
is
leg,
just the
serving
most
calf,
huh?
serving leg, serving calf, serving latex, serving skin.
Exactly.
Honey.
Serving everything, hun. Trish
Ah.
Stratus will forever be gorgeous. She will forever be that girl.
Can we clap
Forever the smoke show.
for that?
Exactly. Let's clap. Let's just clap. Thank you, Trish, because you served us this week with this cover.
For
Like, this is
that.
what I hope to look like at some point. at some point in my life. I feel like at one point in my life I did look that way, and then college happened. But um, either way, this isn't about me. This is about Trish. And as much as I miss her in the ring, I know she's been taking some time off a bit, but she has shown us that age is nothing but a number, honey. She can put on a swimsuit and slay. She can get in the ring and slay. She
Yeah.
can do whatever she wants to and slay us all. And I just wanted to just share this just to give her flowers and her tens and just talk about how amazing she looked on this cover. Like, yo, I loved it. The gorgeousness.
25 years, it's serving 25 years of satisfaction. I know that's right. Yes.
Exactly. And
Hmm.
she'll serve us 25 more.
Because she's a what? Legend.
Exactly.
All of that.
Legendary status.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it, Trish. Love it.
This and with that we end the
No, we're not ending news and gossipish just yet. We do have more to discuss. So Cody Rhodes made an appearance on a podcast called All the Smoke, where he talked a bit about the Rock's final boss character, and basically hinted at what could very well be next for him. So he's quoted as saying, he came back to a very tumultuous WWE a year or so ago and decided, nope, I'm not going to deal with that, Rhodes said. I'm instead going to create a new character, even though I'm already one of the greatest characters ever, that being the final boss. We've just scratched the surface on the final boss. There's something incredibly special there, so The Rock is on my Mount Rushmore, which I feel like is a pretty big deal, honestly, because I feel like The Rock is on a lot of people's Mount Rushmores. Whenever people ask me who are my favorite wrestlers, I always tell them my favorite male wrestler is The Rock of all time, and my favorite female is Mercedes Moné. That's who
what?
I always say, The Rock and Mercedes Moné, because when it comes to The Rock, like he just has the full package of charisma. He had great wrestling talent, during his prime years of the 90s and all of the above. He raised a generation, and just watching him go from being a wrestler, a generational wrestler to like a movie star the way that he has just been like nuts to kind of witness. And
Yeah.
then for him to come back to WWE and just be this character that can cause so much polarization, it's just really insane. He's also given me a great moment where he retweeted a tweet that I made from the Hardy Wrestling podcast a few years ago. Um, for his show Young Rock, which was on NBC. I hate that they canceled it because it was so good.
They did.
Um, that show was so good, and then they
Oh,
canceled it, and I was just like, how dare y'all?
yeah.
But I paid a compliment to his mom, and he retweeted it, and I was like, oh my god, The Rock retweeted me. Stop everything. I'm like, I was screaming. It was a party. But yeah, either way, The Rock has always been one of my favorites, and the final boss character was just absolutely wild.
Oh,
It was wild and off the rails, but I enjoyed it when it came to WrestleMania 40. That was one of the most enthralling builds to a WrestleMania I'd ever witnessed in my life. It was just crazy seeing him be a part of things and tagging with Roman Reigns' cousin and trying to keep Cody from being the guy and all the things. It was just nuts and I enjoyed it. But the fact that Cody said that we're scratching the surface with him, does this mean we're gonna get some more final boss action next year? Like
oh.
that? Oh my god! I'll be so gagged if that happens.
No.
Absolutely gagged. Gagged.
I'm done with the final.
Bianca, you're not a fan?
I missed the. I mean, I missed the old theme song. I
Oh
miss.
god, me too.
I don't. I mean, I'm trying to get used to the doom 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 doom.
Oh, you got perfect pitch. Let's go.
I
Yes.
but but I didn't like seeing Cody get whipped a lot, and like, ugh, that's not the Rock I know. That's not.
Oh,
That's not. Oh, I missed the Rock prior to the Bridal Ball.
me too. I
Yeah.
do miss The Rock prior to the final boss.
I
The
love.
Rock prior to Hollywood Rock.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I do miss, the previous Rock. Because the previous Rock was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll give you that 100%. And what's so funny? You doing that whole theme song thing reminds me of a funny story that I have between me and my dad when it comes to that theme song. Because of course that theme song was like a combination of his old one and then with the Hollywood Rock theme where
Yeah.
he would slowly walk and stuff. And so when he was Hollywood Rock, my dad loved Hollywood Rock cuz my dad is a heel guy. He
Oh.
loves bad guys. My dad loves bad guys. And so whenever he would do that, there was one DVD my dad had. I think it was either No Way Out or Backlash where he was fighting Hulk Hogan again. And then all of a sudden he starts walking towards the ring super slow to that song, and my dad played it over and over again because he loved that entrance so much. And I wanted to just throw up because I hated that version of The Rock because I've been a babyface girl my entire life with the exception of my older years because the first heel I ever fell in love with was Mercedes Moné. That was my first heel. When she was Sasha Banks in
Yeah.
NXT, that was the first heel I ever loved, you know.
Yeah.
And it just took a long time for me to get to that point. So whenever I hear that song, I just think about how my dad was just obsessed with that when I was a little girl and how I just wanted him to just not play it anymore. And and it's just so funny how it just manifested itself again.
Yeah.
Um with the final boss character because he was wild, he was beating up on Cody out in the parking lot and everything. It was nuts. It was really nuts. You know? And then of course you have how he had his whole role in turning John Cena evil and all of these other things. And it was just very, very dramatic stuff. Very dramatic.
And that was this.
Um it was what?
And that was this year.
Yeah, that was this year. That's crazy to think
I.
about all the things we've seen
Yeah. Crazy.
this year.
Ugh.
It's nuts. This is November and all of that happened this year. That's why I have this theory that wrestling time, I said this on the last show. I feel like wrestling time is different from regular time.
Ooh.
Because it's like when you think about everything you go through in a calendar year, a regular human being goes through in a calendar year, and then you think about everything wrestling fans witness in a year, it's
Oh.
almost like 2 years worth or 3 years worth of things in one year that we're seeing.
Yeah. 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 I think about CM Punk returning, and it wasn't like it's like, and that was like 2 years
That
ago.
was 2 years ago,
Yeah.
right? But that feels like it was at least 3 or 4 years ago, doesn't it?
Not even years. It felt like months ago. Well,
See, it
yeah.
doesn't even feel like months to me. Like it feels like years. Like in comparison to everything we've witnessed him go through, it feels like years.
Yeah.
Months feel like years in wrestling time. It's weird. But that's just my theory about, wrestling time. But either way, I thought it was just really interesting that Cody said that there's possibly more that we have not seen from the final boss. So you just never know. You
Do you
just
want to
never
get
know.
whipped again? Do you want to get whipped again, Cody? What's going on? Save yourself.
Look,
Save yourself.
Cody just wants all the smoke because he's just a crazy man. He's not your average everyday man.
Yeah.
I learned that a long time ago. He's built different.
Yeah.
Cody's built different.
Yeah.
He really
Keep
built
Mama
different.
Rose out of this. We love you, Mama Rose.
Exactly.
And we love The Rock. We love you.
Yes, we love everyone in
Yeah.
this picture.
Yeah.
Yes.
Congratulations to you, Cody, on your baby. Congratulations. Yeah. To your wife.
Thanks. Yes. So last but certainly not least, Shimmer, which was an all-female promotion, celebrated its 20th anniversary yesterday. And I thought it was so interesting because I did not know that it was its 20th anniversary until I saw a lot of people posting about it. And when I tell you it's a who's who of women's wrestling that was posting about what the Shimmer promotion did for them and what opportunity it gave them before they, started going after all their other big time dreams, like Deonna Purrazzo, like Becky Lynch, like Bailey, and so many others. It was just so nice. And Dave Prazak, who was a co-owner of Shimmer, actually posted um an entire basically like post about Shimmer, and I'm not going to read it all, but I'll just read some of it. He said, "I take pride in comparing Shimmer to the old Memphis territory. It seems like everyone in wrestling passed through there at some point in their career. Young wrestlers went there to learn, vets stayed there to keep going. Nobody made any real money there, but it served its purpose. It was a place for the wrestlers to perform and live entertainment for the fans in the seats every night. Only the locker room on October 31st, 2021 knew that it was the last show. Though it would have been nice to give the fans a public farewell, please keep in mind that this is pro wrestling we're talking about. History has proven that folks retire dozens of times and keep coming back. The
Yeah.
same can sometimes be said for wrestling promotions. And I never wanted to be the guy trying to sell sympathy tickets for a final show. So our team just went out there that day and did the same thing we always did, just one last time. I've said it before, but this 20-year anniversary is a good time to reiterate it. Thank you to all of the wrestlers and staff who gave their blood, sweat, and tears to Shimmer during the years we were around. Every piece of the puzzle was essential to the creation of such wonderful memories when we came together. Shimmer and sparkle while you can." So this was really nice to see, people loving on this all female promotion. And of course, with him saying that, the last show was just going to be the last show, there's always the possibility that it could come back, which I am a huge proponent of because I love all female promotions. I love them down. And anytime I see an all female promotion thriving and succeeding in any way, I just love to love on it from afar if I can't attend or, try my best to attend or even try my best to watch. I never saw a Shimmer show, but I've just heard so many great things about it. And then they have a good social media presence where at times they will post different pictures of different women who have gone on to do amazing things like Asuka and like all the other women that I've mentioned, doing in their beginnings of their career. So shout out to Shimmer, shout out to Dave Prazak and to all the women who found their footing there. And happy 20th anniversary to this place and long live women wrestling promotions. Like, let's find a way to keep these things going because they're very important.
I agree. I the day Natty posted about this, the day Becky Lynch posted about this, the day Jessica Carr posted about this was the day I found out about was the first time I heard about Shimmer. Like
Hmm.
they all I got introduced to Shimmer through them. Yeah, I'm late, but
Yeah.
I'm learning about what this is, and that's cool. I'm I didn't realize that they got their start here, but so it's really cool, and I hope I hope there's more. I mean, there's more. I mean, with this we have Wow and we have Glow. Is that a show? Is that a
Well, Wow is basically, and Glow were made by the same person, David McLean, who I
Okay.
have interviewed before. Me and Katrina interviewed him and Santana Garrett earlier this year. Um, but yeah, he was the founder of Glow and also the co-founder of Wow, superheroes. So Glow does not exist anymore, but Wow does still exist. So
Okay.
yes.
Okay. More women's wrestling. Women's wrestling is cool. If you can, all the women, if you like wrestling, start early, start now, and so you can build have that experience and be where these legends are today. So yeah, again, happy 20th anniversary. Congratulations to all the women who got their start here and are thriving and are successful and have accomplished a lot of great and magical, beautiful things.
Exactly. Love to women's wrestling. So that's really the end of news and gossipish. So now we're going to move into what me and Bianca liked in wrestling this week. So as we move into that segment, we're going to talk about the things that we enjoyed. And I know for one thing, I enjoyed Jade versus Tiffany as Saturday night's main event. It went way differently than I expected it to go. Jade looked like an absolute powerhouse here. It was almost as if she treated Tiffany as if she was a little bit of a rag doll, and it was crazy to see that happen after watching Tiffany be as dominant as we've seen her be outside of one match. It's just really nuts to just see her get ragdoll in this way. So big ups to both women, but Jade winning the championship was definitely a highlight from this past weekend.
Agreed. Same. I feel the same way. I'm happy she won. Oh my god, I held my breath because I honestly I had a negative, I had a horrible thought that they, that J- they would play Jade and make Tiffany win again. And
Hmm.
no shade to Tiffany, but like it's Jade's time. It's the Storm's time, and the Storm has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. She's here to stay. But I'm really happy she won.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. This was a great moment for her. And then afterward, of course, Jade celebrated with her daughter, and her husband and her other family members. It was really great to see them celebrating with her. So it was just really great. I just love seeing her thrive. And
Hmm.
like I said, she has only scratched the surface. And we'll talk more about her a little bit later on in the show. But big ups to her
Yeah.
for winning. And then another thing that we have to talk about, another match that I particularly enjoyed was Jay Uso versus CM Punk. I know there were a lot of people on social media who kind of tore this match apart simply because of a few spots having to do with CM Punk's spear, which of course wasn't like the regular spears that we're used to seeing. And of course Jay is always under a microscope for his singles wrestling, but honestly there was nothing wrong with, I didn't see anything wrong with the match. I feel like they did a phenomenal job. um Considering these are two people we hadn't seen wrestle each other before, I think they both did an amazing job. You could tell that CM Punk was very emotional even going into the match because his gear and his jacket was paying tribute to his MMA trainer who had passed away a month or so ago. So it was, you could tell he was emotional going in. He was crying and I was like, "Oh my god, why is he crying?" And then Michael Cole talked about it on commentary and I was like, "Oh, okay." So that really, solidified it for me that this match meant a lot. So it was great to see this match. Both men did an excellent job, but CM Punk came out the winner. He is the new world heavyweight champion after scratching and clawing for that championship. And what made me sad afterward though was watching how Jay made a post on his Instagram saying, "Y'all win," with a middle finger emoji. And it made me sad because he has been under a microscope, like I said, since he won the Royal Rumble. And even before then, where people would question, how he could, stand up in singles work because we're so used to seeing him in tag teams with his brother and so many other people, and they felt like, well, he shouldn't be given this responsibility, he shouldn't be doing this, and you know and I find that a lot of the people who are giving this criticism are people who have never wrestled a day in their life. Let me just say that, like, people who have never wrestled are talking about how this man who's been wrestling for 50 years um shouldn't be wrestling for titles like this, and he's not good enough and all this other stuff, and I really feel like we just need to chill on Jay. we really, as a wrestling community as a whole, we just need to chill on him.
Jay is
And
fine.
he is fine.
But he's fine. But he's fine.
I mean, yes. Oh, yes. He's a gorgeous man. Don't get me wrong. Respect. But, like he's fine in the sense that he's okay the way he is.
But he's fine. No, I'm just kidding. But
Bianca, now don't make me whoop you, okay? Don't make me whoop you, okay? Lord have mercy. Yes.
Yeah.
But this match was great.
It really was. I like it when like he's trying not to laugh. But he hides it. It's just so funny. But like, yeah, like you said, great match. And yeah, I mean, we all know I love CM Punk. You all know that. But like, I just want I don't like that he's Jey Uso as main event Jey Uso and like never like this was a main event, wasn't it?
Yes, it was the main event.
It was. Never mind, my bad.
Yeah, because surprisingly, Cody and Drew was the first match.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Cody and Drew was the first match, and then I think the second match was the IC title match, and I think Jade and Tiffany was the third, and this was the fourth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this was the last one.
Okay, Jay, my bad. Never mind. I had a thought, but never mind.
So he really was main event Jay on this Saturday night.
More main events for Jey Uso. More.
Exactly. So I feel like, this doesn't take away from him at all, especially with the announcement that was given this tonight on SmackDown, seeing as he's supposed to be fighting The Miz for placement, for like a further placement in the Last Time Is Now tournament. So, he's still on, things are still on the up and up, even though he's not champion.
Yeah.
So, he's going to be okay, but CM Punk was the right man to win at this time.
Agreed.
He was the right man to win at this time, and I'm happy about it. Yes. Now, of course, moving into Monday Night Raw for the women, we had a tag team match between Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez of the Judgment Day going up against Nikki Bella and Stephanie Vaquer, the women's world champion. And this match was fantastic. But I loved seeing the playful banter that Nikki and Stephanie had, because there was at one point where they were on the apron and they did a booty bump, and I was like, oh, y'all cute. But I thought that was cute. But sadly, they wound up losing the tag team match. Nikki got pinned again by Roxanne. And it was just really interesting to see how that happened. But then, of course, Nikki was sort of feeling down on herself afterward. And Stephanie decided to give her, a pep talk and let her know, like, look, because Nikki was sort of down on herself, saying like, well, maybe I don't belong in the locker room with you girls, because you guys are so far ahead of me and so advanced and all that, and I don't know if I can keep up. But Stephanie, being the amazing girl that she is, was just like, look, you belong here, Nikki. She was basically, I'm paraphrasing, she was saying like, you're a legend, you're a future Hall of Famer, don't be down on yourself. You have to believe, in yourself, because I believe in you. And it was just so sweet to see that happen. And so Nikki was like, I really need to hear that. And then they hugged each other, and it was so nice. I was like, oh.
I think Nikki's going to turn on Stephanie.
That's what a lot of people are saying. But it's moments like this that just kind of make you want to.
I know.
It kind of make you want to not believe that they're going to turn and things will be okay. I don't know. I just.
Yeah.
I want them to be sisters forever.
Yeah.
I want them to love each other. Why can't we just love each other, man? Why? Like, I just. Why can't we just be sisters and braid each other's hair and bake cupcakes and with rainbows and smiles and be happy. Why?
Because this is WWE. This is
I know. It's WWE
that will
and people
never
fight.
happen.
It's wrestling. People fight. I know. But but sometimes you just want to bask in the
Yeah,
friendships.
yeah.
You just want to bask in the friendships. And this was just a really nice moment, okay? Regardless of whatever happens between these two women, this was nice. And I just loved seeing them be so sincere with one another. Or watching Steffi at least be sincere to Nikki. That was really nice. I loved it. It was sweet.
I also love that they both have the same name.
Exactly. I'm glad you caught that. Cause I was thinking that too in my head. I was just like, they both basically are named Stephanie. And I love that as a fellow Stephanie myself.
Stephanie Nicole.
Um,
Really? Come
yeah,
on. Stop.
like Stephanie Nicole, Stephanie Vaquer,
Yes.
oh,
Hi,
Stephanie
Stephanie.
Stephanie
Uh,
McMahon,
well, Stephanie.
Stephanie Hardy. I mean, you
Hmm.
just it's just a lovely name.
It
It's
really is.
iconic.
It really
It's
is.
iconic. It's
You can
very
spell,
iconic.
you can spell it. Wait, different ways to spell it, but there's only
Oh
one.
yeah. Yeah, there's definitely different ways to spell it. Absolutely. And I love that about my name. But I love that mine is
The only way.
the goddess way.
Right? Win way.
The S tier way, okay?
Yes.
Um but yeah. But I just love this segment between these two girls. And if this is leading to them fight, then so be it. But at the same time, I just love watching them, love on each other. It's great. So I loved it. And then they're just both lovely Hispanic women. I just love their representation. It's just so beautiful. So yeah. And then of course we have Becky Lynch, the women's intercontinental champion, climb up on the table, interrupt Joe Tessitore, and say the man has come around. And everybody was screaming, and she proceeds to throw all kinds of crazy shade you know, at New Mexico, saying that the only reason they're famous is because, of a TV show which had them doing meth. And this was a Breaking Bad reference. And I didn't know that until I read that somewhere because I didn't watch Breaking Bad.
Same.
So I was
Yeah.
just like, so when she said, doing meth, I was just like, girl, why would you say that about them? But then when I saw that, I was like, oh, right. Okay. Like I didn't watch Breaking Bad, so I
Yes.
did not know.
Yeah.
Becky be coming up with the craziest puns and the craziest ways to throw shade at different cities. It is so funny. But she climbed up on that table, talked about how life was falling apart for her, how the vision fell apart, and how she has her hot husband at home injured.
Oh Lord.
And let me just say that I love the fact that she still called him her hot husband, even though he's injured. I was like, I'm glad that you still called him hot, because I mean, the hotness never goes away. Um, but she like me for real. I talk about my boyfriend the exact same way. Um, it's hilarious. But she goes on to throw mad shade at Maxine Dupree and talk about how she's, going backstage and trying to make more opportunity for herself. But she basically said it doesn't matter what you do because you're going to have to face off against me, the greatest women's wrestler of all time. And it's not just
He's
sports,
saying
it's not just me saying it, it's Sports Illustrated saying it, it's Bleacher Report saying it, it's the girl down the street saying it, it's the newspaper up the road saying it, it's everybody and their mama except me saying it. So, so Becky's crashing out, but hey,
she needs to think of more. She needs to think of more material. And when she said all that, when she said it's not just me saying, I said, oh Lord, oh God. I thought
I
she
just
would
think
have done with that.
she's not done with it. She's going to remind us. She's going to remind us every day that is what's going on. But, let me just say that as a writer, I didn't say that. I never say that. Because y'all know who I think is the greatest women's wrestler of all time.
Who?
The CEO,
Oh, that's true.
Mercedes Moné. But that's no shade to Becky because Becky done gave the CEO some of her best matches. So we ain't finna sit here and pretend,
Uh,
you know,
yeah.
like Becky ain't who she say she is. But at the same time, no. Um, so after she cuts this promo throwing shade at Maxine Dupree for, wanting to come after the women's intercontinental title, she gets off the table and has this standoff with another great rival of hers in the form of Asuka and Kyrie. This was an interesting standoff.
I liked it. It was
You
really
did?
cool. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. That the match will be great. It's gonna be a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, they've had great matches before in the past, like
Yeah.
over the Raw Women's Championship. Oh my God, and the SmackDown Women's Championship. These women really know and respect each other. But then there were people online who were speculating that maybe Becky and Asuka and Kyrie could be on the same team for War Games for the women's War Games match. And I
Oh
thought that was a really interesting wrinkle.
wow. That was that what wow. I can see it. Wow. I could yeah. But they're
Yeah,
but but they're all but they're all really funny in their own way. Like
yeah, they are.
you can't take them serious at times, but that's not dismissing the fact that they're great competitors and great wrestlers, but they're funny.
Yeah, they are funny. They would be funny together as a team, but if they are going to be a team, I just want to know who's going to be the fourth member.
Mm.
Because usually, for war games, it's 4-on-4 or even 5-on-5, maybe.
Yeah,
So I just want to know if that's the possibility. If this is a part of the possibility, then what are the others? But of course, I'm sure that will unfold. But this was very interesting Monday. I was like, oh, look at this.
yeah,
It was cool.
it
I
was.
like this. I like this standoff. And then, of course, we move on to the tag team match between Bailey and Lyra and Asuka and Kyrie. And it was amazing. The women's, like I said last week, the women's tag team division is popping off in more ways than one. And they be having excellent matches on well, not free television because it's Netflix, but still, um, like they be having these matches and it's just like, bruh,
Yeah,
it's thriving. The women's tag division is really thriving, and I feel like we should really like bask in the afterglow of this because there was once upon a time where the women's tag division was not really getting this much attention and this much action. So the idea that we're getting this level of action from it is on both shows. It's just absolutely incredible.
there was a time I remember when they were seeing like a women's match booked on TV and then it just got scrapped.
Mhm.
So seeing multiple women's matches in this day and age now, as opposed to the good old days when we
Mhm.
had free TV. um, yeah, it's a great evolution, and it's just great to see how much WWE has grown and has evolved, but still has a lot of work to do in terms of booking women and treating women with the respect that they deserve.
Oh yes. There's always room for growth, but
Yeah,
just looking and just specifically just the women's tag team division, it's definitely improved by
yeah.
greater numbers in the past couple of months and I love it. So this match was fantastic. Asuka Asuka and Kyrie wound up winning this match and they were attacking Bailey and Lyra. But then, of course, Charlotte and Alexa came in for the save to even up the odds. And something that I continue to find interesting about this dynamic is the fact that Charlotte and Bailey, are part of the Four Horsewomen.
Mm.
And I feel like even though Bailey is crashing out to a degree, with her partnership with Lyra, I feel like at some point, I'm just waiting on Bailey and Charlotte to have some type of talk or some type of standoff or something. I don't know how it would happen or if it would ever happen, but honestly, I'm just sort of waiting on that. As a women's wrestling four horsewoman fan, I'm very interested to see how that happens. But everybody is coming after those two, Charlotte and Alexa, and it's
Yeah,
great because they're a fantastic tag team. They're one of the best surprises of this whole year, honestly.
they really are. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's dynamic, and they get along great. And
Yeah, even though they try to pretend they don't.
they're not. We're not friends. I love that shirt. Oh my gosh, I need that shirt in my life. But yeah, they're both great in their own ways. They work fantastic. I just it's the it's the it's the heel turn and them turning on each other one day that I dread the most. Like I know it's coming, but like it'll be sad once that happens. But right now, like it's great to see. I'm happy
It
to.
is, yeah, it is great to see. And then there is something that I did want to bring up to your point that feeds into SmackDown. So I'll get to that later. Because I'm glad you did bring that up. But yeah, like as for right now, them as a tag team, it's fantastic, and I don't want it to end just yet. But I'll talk more about that later. But when it
Oh,
comes to the men, however, as much as we don't necessarily like him, we got to talk about it. CM Punk, of course, was celebrating, being a champion or whatnot, and then Logan Paul came out there at the beginning of the show to sort of talk about how he should be first in line to face him and all of the above, even though CM Punk did not bring his name up at all. Um, so in the midst of all of this, tied up with the Vision, and then Jay comes out there to try to fight on CM Punk's side. But then the numbers game gets to be too much, and then Logan Paul asks like he wants to fight on CM Punk's side. And for a second, I was like, "Oh my God, is this going to be a Logan Paul face turn?"
yeah.
Cause I really thought for sure I was like, bro, if we're gonna get a face turn for Logan Paul, then I feel like that will single handedly be one of the best surprises of the year, right? Wrong. He punches CM Punk in the face with the brass knuckles, and then gives the brass knuckles to Paul, who tells Braun Breaker, "Look, if he touches me, you kill him." And I was like, that's funny, but hands the brass knucks to Paul Heyman. Like, so is Logan Paul a part of the Vision now? And is this feeding into War Games as well? What's going on here? But of course, everybody, was just upset at the idea that Logan Paul was even there. Like you, Bianca, I imagine.
Stop disrespect. Do I have to say his government name again? Stop disrespecting Philip Jack Brooks by bringing that loser low life weak at. I'm heated right now. But like this, I hate it. Like, I got. I I don't like Logan. I don't know what else to say. It's just I don't like this. It's just they
Hmm.
they're disrespecting him by bringing him in like
Yeah,
I'll have lots of feelings. I have
yeah.
lots of feelings. I just don't like that WWE keeps disrespecting CM Punk by allowing this man to even be in the ring with him it, to begin with. Like, why? No. I don't care what anyone says. He is a, what's that word? Um, yeah, he is an outsider. He will forever be an outsider. And he's only there because, like, he wants the money. And he really doesn't need it. But, but I digress. Like, What were we talking about? Oh my
Yeah, like I mean, a lot of people know. I mean, you're on topic because a lot of people don't like the idea that he sort of placed himself in front of CM Punk as the next guy up to challenge.
Yeah.
And CM Punk did not name him. Like he named people like AJ Styles. He named people like even Dominic Mysterio. Like he named people, who've been working and stuff like that. But here's my thing though, and I mentioned this on my social media, at Queen Steph Hardy everywhere. Um, mentioned, why wouldn't Kofi Kingston challenge him at this stage? And I don't know if it's because I guess because for me, when they first created this version of the World Heavyweight Championship, I thought of it as, or at least the way that it was sort of presented, was as a championship that would give opportunity to those who would not be able to challenge for like the undisputed WWE title. And so far, in terms of title holders, we've seen Seth Rollins hold it twice. We've seen Gunther hold it. We've seen Jey Uso hold it. We've seen CM Punk hold it. And it's just like there's a part of me that really wants to see other people who haven't had a chance at a major title like that in years have a chance to hold it, because people are already touting Braun Breaker as a possible future holder. And that's okay, but my thing is like, why is it that a former WWE champion like Kofi Kingston can't have it? Him and CM Punk were tag team partners a long time ago, back in the day when CM Punk had long hair. Um they were
God.
tag team champions, and it's just like Kofi has made this turn. He's turned heel, of course, with Xavier and all the above. And even though they sort of keep their focus on the tag titles, there still needs to be more invested in them as single stars as well. So, with that being the case, how come Kofi, can't be in that conversation? Or
Right.
even Xavier be in that conversation to challenge CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship? Um, so yeah, it really could be anybody, or even Dragon Lee, or even Rey Mysterio now that he's returned. But of course, he has a whole nother can of worms to deal with. Like there's just so many other people who I feel like is deserving of that opportunity. But most definitely black male wrestlers who could, utilize that opportunity as well. And Kofi and Xavier are the two main ones in my mind who could benefit from that, win or lose. Um from that, because he has history with Punk. Even
Yeah.
though they never feuded, but they still have history with each other. But I'm just a girl with a podcast. So um I just wanted to put that out there. But people didn't like the whole Logan Paul thing, but did you think, I mean, I feel like this was sort of like his weird way of joining the vision.
Mm.
But of course we're not gonna have the answer to that until Monday. Maybe.
Yeah.
So mhm.
You know what? I think so. Yeah, I think that's his way of. Yeah, and I don't like that he's gonna be a part of, potentially be a part of no, SummerSlam,
War games.
series War Games.
Yeah.
I don't want- we don't need that. The people don't deserve that. But ugh, I hate that. I hate that. I feel like that's what's going to happen. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see
Yep.
what happens.
Yep. But speaking of seeing things and speaking of war games in San Diego, like I mentioned earlier, Rey Mysterio made his triumphant return. Um, as Dominic, the AAA Mega Champion, as well as the WWE Intercontinental Champion, was jaw jacking on the microphone with people cheering him, which is another thing we'll feed into a little bit later. And then you have Ray, make his return and get in his face. And they had a pretty heated exchange here where Dominic essentially told him, like, look, I'm the greatest luchador. I'm the king of the luchadors. And with him saying that, Ray, raised him a question. He was like, well, with you being the king of the luchadors, that would mean that you're better than, you know, a luchador that they mentioned of the past, that you're better than Eddie Guerrero, or that you're better than, any other luchador that's, made it in a mainstream world, or even him. And Dominic hilariously said, "You keep my father's name out your mouth," and I died. I feel like this is our fault. Our fault as the wrestling community, the internet wrestling community. This is our fault. This is our fault for carrying this, for carrying him and that custody match as far as we did, and now we have to live with it in this day and age with this because him calling Eddie his father is just it's so hilarious. It's hilarious because it's wrong, and it's hilarious because at one point he was like, "I'm your papi," and that's a part of his lore. That's a part of his lore, and I'm glad. The thing that I love is the fact that Dominic is dedicated to the idea that that's a part of his wrestling lore. It's hilarious. It's so hilarious, and I can only feel that if Eddie were here, he'd be laughing about it too. Rest in peace to that man.
Yes.
Oh my god.
He said it with the so serious and with a straight face. When his father is right. What? That is your dad.
You say that to your real dad who actually raised you, bro. Keep my father's name out your mouth, sweetie.
Why Will Smith?
But Ray told him. Bianca, she can't stop laughing.
It's just so stupid.
Are we gonna be able to finish the show?
Like the best.
Oh my god, get her some tissue.
Ooh.
Get her a pastry.
Oh my god.
But Ray looked at him and said, "Look, as long as I'm wrestling and as long as I'm alive, you will never be the king of the luchadors." And what's even crazier is that Dominic even accused him of stealing his mustache. And I'm sitting here like, first of all, since when did you copyright a mustache? You know how many men on the planet Earth have mustaches? Right now. Not even before you were born, but even right now. You are not the first man to have a mustache. You won't be the last. Dominic, he got too much dip on his chip.
It's like my favorite part.
He has too much dip on his chip.
Not even this. It's like it's see what cute angles, no right angle. Like no. When he flexes, I can't. Dominic Mysterio, I love you. You are so stupid in like the best possible way. Like, oh my god, keep being you, keep doing you. Like, anyway.
Now, do you think we'll be getting these two fighting against each other for all of the marbles?
I hope so.
At War Games.
I hope so. I don't condone. I keep saying I don't condone fathers beating up their sons, but like this is an exception. Like
exactly. We've seen it before. We'll see it again.
Yes.
And what's so? Huh?
And they compete really, and whenever they compete, whenever they have a match, they deliver. They're phenomenal.
They are. Yeah, like they were phenomenal in LA, which is so interesting because if they fight at War Games, that'll be their second time fighting in California. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. That was fun. Yeah. I'll never forget when Rey Mysterio made his entrance in that lowrider with Snoop Dogg, and then all of a sudden, and I was in line at SoFi to give me some food, And then all of a sudden, all I heard was "Viva la Raza," and then the music hit, and I almost ran out of the line. It was nuts. It was nuts. I was
Was
like, I picked a weird. I was so hungry, but I was
was
like,
that,
oh my god, yeah,
was that at WrestleMania?
yeah. That was a WrestleMania 39.
Okay. Okay, have
That's
to
so
rewatch it.
fine.
I remember. Okay, I remember that. I remember AJ Styles doing that
That was oh yeah, that was a fun time.
with the when he did that with the mix of his, with his entrance song. Oh my god! Like
Yeah,
the I want to see the Black people crip walk to that. Oh, he can crip walk. That's a whole vibe. Oh my god!
yeah, that was fun.
Phenomenal.
But yeah, this is gonna be a fun time with them feuding again. I love it. And then Dominic was angry about it backstage in the Judgment Day clubhouse, and then Roxanne tried to calm him down. And I'm sitting here like, girl, you better stay away. But we'll get into that at a later date. Um, so moving into NXT, I really wanted to talk about Miss Girl here, Miss Her,
Miss
future Mrs. Carmelo Hayes, the
Yes.
TNA Knockouts champion, Kalani Jordan,
Look at that side
Miss
eye.
Mamas. What?
Look at that side eye.
Exactly. That side eye is lethal, ain't it? She came out here with a microphone and a mission. On NXT, she decided to cut the promo of her life because, of course, now, since she retained her Knockouts title by knocking Jordan Grace in the face with it,
Mm.
she has now gone officially bad. She has become Darth Lonnie. And because she's become Darth Lonnie, she's got these braids in her hair, which she has had before, but this time it just hits different. With that pink outfit she had on, the outfit was cute. And she came out there and spoke her mind. She she made facts, honestly. She spit a bunch of facts. She said whenever Dirty Dominic comes out and cheats, you guys cheer for him. And when Cody hit Drew with his belt, you're gonna still sing his song on Friday. And lo and behold, they did. And I tweeted about it, and she liked it, so that was cool. Um, and but she said, but if I hit Jordan Grace in the face with my title, then I'm the bad guy, and y'all want to boo me.
Hmm.
And she proceeded to talk about how everyone, wanted her to be this nice girl and everything, but they threw all of her stuff out just because she took the opportunity that was presented to fight for the Knockouts title. And yes, she beat Lee, Legging Lee for that championship fair and square. And she took that opportunity, but because she took that opportunity and was assigned to be on Team TNA for Showdown, they wanted to throw her stuff out of the locker room.
Hmm.
And what's so funny was she was throwing all this shade. She was speaking all this truth because even I didn't like the fact that they threw her stuff out of the locker room. I thought that was very petty of them to do, considering, I mean, she was their champion. What was she supposed to do? Say no and then just fight for Team NXT anyway? Like that would have been weird. Um, she might have got suspended for that. You never know. But she chose to fight with Team TNA, and all her NXT friends decided to turn her back on them. And then Jordan Grace comes along and then tries to give her advice, and she really didn't like it. So she was like, look, I'm doing this for me now. I'm going to be selfish because everybody, turned their back on me. So, this is me. And then she said that and then she called out the fans, which I feel like was my favorite part of the entire promo. She called out the fans by saying that we were just followers because, at one point we don't know what to cheer, at one point we don't know what to boo. And then she said that you guys only follow what what your narratives are. And then she even went as far as to calling out fans for going after and flocking towards girls who have big booties, even though she didn't say big booties. And she said, and you tend to go after those people instead of focusing on the fact that I'm one of the most elite athletes in this ring. And you might not want to call me, all these different names, but one thing you will call me well, no, she said, you might call me a traitor and you might call me a backstabber, but one thing you will always call me is a champion. And I feel like we should unpack that for a second because something that I did go back and notice when it came to those girls throwing her stuff out of the locker room, Kalani became the first ever NXT Women's North American Champion. And she is now a TNA Knockouts champion. The women, the main two women who threw her stuff out were Lola Vice and Jada Parker.
Oh wow.
And and it's just like those two women really have not had any major accomplishments outside of fighting for the NXT Women's Championship and not winning, or in the case of Lola, fighting back and forth between NXT and AAA, which is another thing that Kalani Jordan called out, that everybody was okay with her fighting with NXT and AAA, but then when she goes to fight for TNA and NXT, then that's a problem. So I feel like this heel turn is kind of justified. Even though I might not like the fact that she cheated to beat Jordan Grace, and now she's angry that she has to defend her title against Lei Ying Lee and Jordan Grace at NXT Gold Rush. I like the fact that she fully expressed her motive and her frustration behind everybody turning their back on her. And now she's going to be selfish and going to, really like put her foot down and let people know, like, I am that girl and you need to be watching me. And I liked it.
I feel like that's the theme for 2025. Like, put some, like, don't let anyone, like, demand respect, and don't let anyone, like, just don't let anyone walk all over you. And she's standing her ground, and I'm glad she made that pipe bomb. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm glad she did that. I'm glad she stood her ground, and I'm glad she's evolving. I remember, like, watching her. I remember being introduced to her, as a good guy. So seeing her evolve I like it. I
Yeah,
like it.
I like it too, because, at one point, at first, at one point, we were sort of wondering, if because at one point she was teetering, back and forth between having an attitude and being a baby face. But now she's just gone full attitude. And I really like it. She stood her ground the entire time in the promo, even though the entire NXT crowd was just booing her relentlessly. She kept her focus and literally said everything she wanted and needed to say. And I just loved how she just drugged the fan base as a whole, because there are some times where we will, latch on to the next popular thing and then cheer for it, at one point and then boo at the next, and all of the above. Like, she really did call out some real, critiques towards the IWC, and I appreciated that. So big ups to Lonnie for that. I low key hopes that she keeps, the Knockouts title for a longer period of time, because here again, I want to see who else in TNA she's going to fight against, and I just can't wait to see what more she has to offer. She really, like, I honestly feel like she gave the promo of the week, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
watch it again, but yeah, I love that delivery.
Yeah, me too. And then also in terms of the NXT women, we have Zarya moving forward in the women's speed tournament because, of course, she's fighting for the honor of Sol Ruka because Sol had to relinquish the speed championship due to her injury. And Zarya is fighting in her honor to try to get that title back in their friendship and their good graces. She beat Ren Sinclair in 3 minutes, so that was really interesting. But of course, Sol Ruka now also has her eyes on getting the women's North American title back, because the doctor said that she could fight. So we just got to wait and see what happens with that. So Zarya gets to face off against whoever wins the match next Tuesday with Fallon Henley and Skylar Gray, who was the winner of WWE LFG Season 2. So,
Really? Oh wow.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she was in LFG Season 1 and did not win, but she won this season. So,
Oh, I didn't watch. I didn't know.
Yeah, I watched all of season 1, but I didn't have a chance to watch season 2 this time.
Me too.
But season 1 was pretty solid. I loved it. Yeah,
Fascinating.
and a lot of and some of the people who didn't even necessarily win LFG in season 1 or season 2 pop up on Evolve from time to time. So,
Okay.
um yeah, so that's really cool. But yeah, Fallon and Skylar are gonna fight Tuesday, and whoever wins that match gets to face Zarya for the Speed Championship. So we just gotta wait and see what happens there. But I'm pretty pumped about that because I would love to see Zarya get that title back. But of course, you back here you saw Soul sort of, campaigning to get to get her rematch for the North American Championship. But Ava was like, "Look, we need to take it slow and see what the doctor says firsthand to see what'll happen." But as far as it looks like we're getting Soul versus Blake Monroe at Gold Rush. But I'm also intrigued at the fact that Blake Monroe keeps talking about this other half that she's going to be with, and if that's going to play a factor into her retaining, because her going to New York seems like a big deal for her. So we just got to wait and see what happens with that. But I do hate seeing my Soul Ruka with no gold. Like
Yeah.
my babe, no. So yeah. Mm. But I'm also scared that she's gonna crash out on Zarya at some point. I'm
Oh.
scared.
Oh. Oh God. That he'll. Wow. Hey. We'll wait. Wow. I lost my train of thought.
It's okay. But yeah, I just feel like if she doesn't like if Zarya doesn't win that speed championship, that I feel like their friendship is going to be fractured beyond repair.
I hope not. I like them. I like their dynamic. I like seeing them together. I'll be sad. Oh gosh. But
Yeah,
hey,
I'll be sad
yeah.
too. Yeah. But I'm just sort of waiting for Zarya to have her breakout moment. I feel like next year will be her year for sure.
They both. I see them both on TV for sure.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
see them both on TV, but I definitely see Zarya, having bigger moments next year. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But moving towards the men, though, the best match of the whole night goes to Javon Evans and Shaquan Sugars. These men tore the house down. And I love that on social media they were talking about how they had fought each other in a previous promotion before they got signed to NXT.
Oh wow.
So the idea of seeing them fight on this big a level was just really huge. They both got signed around the same time as each other, and they talked about that on commentary. So to see both of these men fight as excellently as they did, it was just like, bruh. Because a lot of what we see from Shaquan Sugars is a lot of him being the mouthpiece of Dark State, and of course in tag team action. But from a singles perspective, we hadn't really seen much from him up until this point. But this was perfect. I want to see more Shaquan Sugars content. Give me more Shaquan Sugars matches, please.
I didn't realize that he's in Dark State.
Yeah, Shaquan is in Dark State.
Wow.
But he doesn't really like. He's not like one of the tag team champions in Dark State. So like he'll get involved with the stuff like illegally, but as far as like you know being like he's more of the mouthpiece of it. But he's really great. Like when he talks, like you tend to believe everything he says because he's just very intense. He's kind of like the guy that you really just don't want to run into or have bad blood with at all.
He looks like it.
That's just yeah, that's just kind of how I reached Shaquan Sugars. But I love this match. And Javon Evans just doesn't know how to have a bad match with anybody. So if you put those two together, you're gonna get fantastic television match. Now this was a great match on free TV right here. I can say free TV for CW. That's what I can say. It was great. It was fantastic. I definitely recommend you go back and watch this match if you haven't. It was really good. I loved it.
Definitely will.
Yes. And then of course, we're here at this promo, which is, of course, the inspiration for the title of this episode, Delusion as Designer. You have Ricky Saints, the NXT champion, getting into it with Trick Williams because, of course, they're beefing up their last man standing match for the NXT championship, which isn't taking place at Gold Rush. There was a girl on TikTok named H who makes wrestling content on TikTok, and she made mention of the fact that these two are not having their last man standing match at Gold Rush. They're having it on a regular episode of NXT. And I was just like, oh my God, I did not think about that. And it sort of makes you wonder why that is. I don't know. Like it makes me think that somehow or another Trick, this right here really might be Trick's last match.
Oh God.
And that he might really be getting called up, or maybe Trick could win the title back, and then Ricky could be getting called up. I don't know. Either way, this promo was fire, and it was so fire that I had to write it down again and just make notes. Ricky, one of the best quotes that Ricky had in this, besides the line about delusion as designer, he said, "Your ego can't handle being second best," and I felt like that was real cutting to Trick Williams, because I feel like that's one of the main motivators behind why Trick acts the way he acts, because he had to be behind Carmelo Hayes for so long
Yeah.
that once he got out in the front and tasted that level of stardom, it's like he doesn't want anybody to ever see him as second place again or second fiddle again. And I loved how Ricky, delivered that. But then Trick responded by saying, "Because I'm second to none." And I was just like, okay. And then Ricky responded by telling him that he sees the NXT title as a security blanket, whereas I see it, as an opportunity, and I don't take it for granted. But then Trick said, "The title doesn't belong to someone like you because you look like a fan. It's like you talk about being a people's champion, you look like a fan. You want your title. If you want your title, you go to WWEshop.com like everybody else." And I was like, God dang, they were spitting. They were spitting in this promo. I swear to God, spitting real hard. And then Ricky responded by saying, "Trick, you wear delusion well. You think it's designer at this point." And this is why I absolutely believe that if you in wrestling, if you just let black men be who they are, you get gold every single time.
Agreed.
Gold every
Yeah.
single time. If you just let them be who they are, let them bring their swag, their authenticity, their lingo, their everything, like their heritage.
Yeah.
You get stuff like this. It's perfect. It's perfection. Absolute perfection. And then of course Trick Williams would proceed to fight each other in the back, and then Trick popped Ricky in the stomach with a steel post.
Oh.
And of course, that kind of just lets you know where the last man standing match is going to go. But oh my God, these two here is heated like Beyonce. And I love it. I love it. I love these two. I never get tired of hearing them talk at each other. I could listen to them talking to each other all night long.
And then Booker T will be like, "Oh yeah, man."
Exactly. Like that's what it's about. Yeah. Perfection. Perfection. Yes. Perfection.
But yeah, I'm excited for this match. I like them both. Like, getting to know Ricky Saints, when he and and um, yeah, just everything. Um, why do I always lose my train of thought? Oh my God, I have so much to say, but I'll be quiet and say I'm excited. I won't embarrass myself anymore.
No, it's okay. No, you're not embarrassing yourself. You're fine.
Okay.
But, I'm excited for this match too. But this promo just made me more and more excited. So these two are just fantastic on the microphone. I just can't wait to see, you know, what more they bring because it's gonna be fire.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, and there's the attack. I forgot. Yeah. And then Trick told him after he attacked him with the steel post, he was like, I didn't want to show you this side of me. And I'm just like, oh Lord. Trick is a super villain.
Look at the guy in the
But
back.
yeah. Yeah, he can't believe it. He beside himself, bro. He is beside himself. But Ricky gonna have to dig way deep in his soul to be
What if it,
Trick, kinda.
what if this is Cody Rhodes' future?
Okay, let's move on.
Ah!
Um, so with AEW Dynamite, I love the fact that Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale upset Athena and Mercedes in the women's tag team tournament. They were so shook.
Yeah.
This was Harley's face. And I was very happy with that, even though, of course, Mercedes can't stand Harley Cameron. And I'm usually a supporter of my CEO's rights and wrongs. I was okay with this happening simply because of the fact that I don't want Mercedes to win another tag team title. Like, if she's going to collect more titles, I want them to just be singles titles and not tag team stuff. So I was okay with this. Now, mind you, I was shocked about it, but I was okay with it. But then what's so funny is that this situation led to Harley Cameron getting a Ring of Honor Women's World Championship opportunity against Athena. And I low key feel weird because as much as I love Athena holding this title for as long as she has, if Harley wins it, that would be fantastic for her and her career. It really would. Because she has made great improvements in her wrestling journey. And I want to see her get some gold. So that would be great. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I've started watching AEW again after a hiatus. Um, I was mad at the company for their firing, but I'm back. And yeah, I remember this match, and I liked seeing them together, and I like seeing Willow Nightingale and what's her name,
Harley Cameron.
Harley Cameron. Okay, I'm just getting to know them. But yeah, I was actually surprised. I was actually surprised that they actually beat Mercedes Moné and Athena, um, formerly known as the former WWE superstar Ember Moon, forever in my heart. But um, yeah, I wasn't expecting them to win. I thought they would. I thought Athena and Mercedes would win, but they didn't. So, um, yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people online thought for sure that Athena and Mercedes would win because a lot of people were like, well, bro, why would you put together a super team like that only
right.
to have them lose? And I'm just like, well, because the tag team that beats them can hang that on their hat, can hang that feather on their cap forever, you know? And Harley, I feel like Harley and Willow stand to gain more if they were to win the women's tag team titles more than Athena and Mercedes would, honestly. And that's no shade because Athena and Mercedes are super talented women. They're incredible and I love them to death. But honestly, they don't need them. They don't need the tag team titles. Like I just don't feel like they need them. That would low key be a little bit too much. Like no, they don't need it. I feel like new tag teams like Harley and Willow, or even older tag teams like Anna Jay and Ty Conti, deserve the tag titles. So those are my two favorites to win the whole tournament. But I just love this moment because of how shocked Harley looked and how shocked Willow looked. But I couldn't find a Willow picture, but it was incredible. It was incredible. I loved it. Plus, Harley makes me laugh all the time, so that was great. But
Mm,
moving into SmackDown, Jade made her first appearance on SmackDown as the WWE Women's Champion. And she didn't say a whole lot, which was funny because at first I thought she didn't say anything at all, but that was because I was getting my dinner and grocery and everything else. Um, she basically just said, "Look, the whole locker room is on notice. I'm that bitch." And that's it. And
period.
that's all. That's
Yeah.
it and that's all. So that's all she said. She came out there, she flexed, and everybody cheered for her, and it was cool. And Badass Jade is here. But in the midst of Badass Jade being here with that scar still on her face,
Mm.
she had another face off with one half of the tag team champion, Charlotte Flair, again. And this satisfies me every time it happens because when I wrote my first article for Daily DDT, it was about three big matches that needed to happen during Jade Cargill's WWE run. And her versus Charlotte was one of the ones that I predicted. And then another one that I predicted that has actually happened more than once this year was her versus Tiffany.
Mm.
So we've seen that happen. So now we just need two more because I wrote about her and Tiffany, and that one's happened. We're still waiting on her and Charlotte. They keep having these face offs. And then you have the one with her and Bianca, which a lot of people feel like is going to happen next year somehow. So, yeah, this satisfies me every time I see it because I feel like in some way I sort of manifested it and wrote it into existence. But a part of me, like when I first saw this, I thought they were interrupting Jade, but as it turns out, they weren't. They were just making their entrance for their match. Well, for Charlotte and Nia's match,
Yeah.
and Jade was just like, "Look, anytime you want to go, I'm right here." But to speak to your point that you made, Bianca, earlier about Charlotte and Alexa breaking up, there was a point where Charlotte turned around and looked at Jade as if she wanted to jump at her and
Mm.
challenge her for that championship, and then Alexa had to pull her back.
Yeah.
So, are we seeing Charlotte sort of get hungry for more singles gold again, and will that be the turning point in her and Alexa's relationship? Do you think that will be it?
Whew. I think so. Wait,
Mhm.
I hope not. But I also think no, and this is no shade to Charlotte. I love her as a competitor and as a wrestler and as a human, even though I don't know her personally. But like,
Oh yeah.
I don't want this. I don't want. Oh, I think she's had a lot of. I think she's held it. I think she's held the title, the women's championship, a lot. I think it's. I think not if she won't. I'm not saying she won't win it again. I think it's just like give it to someone else and like let that person have their moment
Mhm.
before you come back into the picture and win another championship. Like
Yeah,
it's
that's fair.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's 100. Yeah, that's fair. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
but with but when that happened, like I don't want Alexa and Charlotte to break up. But if it's over, but if this is difficult. Oh my god, a lot could happen. So many great so many scenarios could. Ooh, so many scenarios could happen. So many outcomes could happen. Hmm. Wow. I never thought about that. I never really thought about that. But yeah, again, it's Jade's time. Like let Jade have her moment.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. I agree to a degree because, that is a criticism that people have thrown towards Charlotte a lot is the fact that she has won championships, but I am actually under, in my opinion, I honestly feel like Charlotte should have broken her father's record before John Cena did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I honestly feel like that was her birthright to a degree. Even though, of course, the 16, time champion thing isn't really technically the right number. But if we're going off of the actual number of 16, I truly believe that Charlotte should have broken that record before John Cena did because it's her birthright. And I wouldn't mind seeing her with the title because personally, I wanted to see her win the title off of Tiffany at WrestleMania this year. But that was also just due to personal reasons. Um, well, due to personal reasons that I'll discuss with you off camera. But honestly, if she was going to win, I do want her to sort of let other women have their chance with it. And I do agree with you with that. It is nice to and refreshing to see a title picture that doesn't always have her shoehorned in there to a degree. But I will also go out on a limb and say that if she does win it for a 15th, the 16th, the 17th, or an 18th time and break even John Cena's record, I won't be mad about it either.
I
Because
mean,
I feel like too often we're okay with men winning championships
yeah.
multiple times, but then not okay with women doing it. It's
Yes.
just, yeah, and and if she does, then that's great.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Me
So
too.
yeah,
But
I mean
when
it's a
yeah.
yeah, but I get what you're saying though too.
Again, like for now, like I'm not saying it won't happen, but like let someone else.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, but this face off was fierce though. I loved it. This is a WrestleMania match in the making. I swear
I
it
agree.
is. But then moving forward, you had Jade going backstage and she scared off Chelsea Green. Chelsea wants nothing to do with her. It was really funny. But then you have B Fab who's just like, bro, why you got all this attitude? And then she was just like, look, you just need to move out of my way. And then B Fab was like, look, if you feel like you got to act like that, then I'll face you in the ring. And so B Fab was like, bet. Jade challenged her, and then B Fab was like, bet. So next week we're gonna get them.
Yay!
And I admire B-Fab's courage. I love B-Fab's courage, and I love that this match is going to happen. And plus, I just love seeing black women on my screen. And I just never get tired of seeing B-Fab because she's gorgeous, and I just feel like she's just a goddess lady. And I just feel like, she deserves more opportunities to be on TV. So
Agree. Yeah.
this is cool. This is
Yeah.
cool. I like this, even though, it's going in a different direction right now, but I do like this a lot. So it's cool.
Especially because she's the Street Profits manager.
Yeah,
Is
and we got to talk about where the Street Profits are at some point because they just disappeared. And I just
yeah.
want to know where they're at.
And
But yeah, I'm excited to see this.
it's cool to see BFAP shine as a solo competitor.
Yeah, her side quests are great.
Yeah.
If you could really like call them that respectfully, her side quests are amazing. And then we had the re-debut. I guess you could say the re-debut because she's been on SmackDown before of Lash Legend making her main roster debut on SmackDown as an ally of Nia Jax because Nia said that she wasn't really a friend, but then she kind of said she was a friend. But either way, they've aligned, and because she was choking out Alexa outside of the ring, Nia was able to take advantage of the distraction and beat Charlotte tonight. This was very surprising to me because I had seen rumors on Twitter of people saying, "Oh, well, she's gonna have her debut." I'm like, okay, guys, don't get yourselves worked up, and then it winds up not happening. But then it actually happened in this way, and I was like, whoa! But then, sentimental and full circle moment, it makes sense because Lash eliminated Nia at Evolution,
She did.
and then they had a match against each other. Or two matches against each other, I think, on NXT. And it's just kind of like everything everything comes back to evolution. Everything comes back to evolution. This was the pay-per-view of the year. I don't care. It was the pay-per-view of the year. I don't care. But yeah, it just makes sense considering Lash had such big moments against her, and now she's her ally. And then and to see her talk about herself being the bougie bully on SmackDown, it just did my heart so good. It warmed me up inside. It really did because after months of seeing people talk about how come they don't do her right on NXT and all this other stuff, to see her on SmackDown as a possible like full-time girl, I was like, yes, I'm here for this. I'm here for it.
Me too. I like Lash Legend. I like her, and I'm glad she's not in the shadow of her man's.
Oh, never that.
Yeah, so it's cool. She's standing on her own, and
Yeah, I'm glad.
yeah,
Yeah, but here again, I'm wondering what does this mean? Does this mean that he's on his way? Or
hope so.
I hope so, because he ready. He ready.
They ready.
More than
She
ready.
ready.
I'm happy for Lash.
Yeah.
But then there's also the part of me that also feels like she could have been NXT Women's Champion.
Has it?
She hasn't.
Wow.
Ugh, Jesus. But I guess that's just me nitpicking. I'm happy for her.
Me too. They look good. They look like pop stars.
They do look like pop stars. They do. With the matching red and everything. I like
Yeah.
it. Very beautiful. Yes. Congratulations to Lash Legend. You are now an elite employee. I'm sorry. I had to make that reference. So yeah, Lash and Nia. And then we have Chelsea Green, who won back the Women's United States Championship off of Julia via cheating because she grabbed the rope, which was crazy, which was crazy work, which sent the internet into a tailspin because they feel like this was their way of sort of burying Julia, which I don't agree with per se. Because of course, in order for someone to be buried, that would mean that you have no plans for them after that point. And considering this just happened tonight, we have to wait and see. But Julia lost the US title to Chelsea again. And I feel like a lot of Chelsea's personality this year was just sort of patterned after the US title. So it kind of makes sense for her to be a double champion alongside with Ethan Page right now. Um While also I can understand how people can feel slighted to a degree when it comes to Julia and her US title reign because she didn't defend it as much.
Yeah.
Number one, and then number two, there wasn't much that they did in terms of highlighting her positives or her personality in order to make the audience fully invested in her as champion. So I understand why people feel the way they feel, but seeing Chelsea with the title again isn't the worst thing either. So my heart's torn.
I liked Chelsea Green as U.S. champion. It was a
Hmm.
funny run. It was funny. She and I love the fact that she's not even American. Well, yeah, she's not
Well,
even.
she's North
Oh,
American. She's just Canadian.
that's true. That's true. She's
Yeah.
not U.S. Well, she is. But anyway, it's just and I like I like I loved her first championship run, and I expect nothing less from this next run.
Yeah, it's gonna be outrageous. And that's just what I love for Chelsea. She's always outrageous and always funny. So it's gonna be fun. And I also love that Ethan Page was here on SmackDown to support her too. Like that was really cool too. I was like, I love these SmackDown NXT crossovers.
Yeah,
It's fun. I
yeah,
like it.
yeah,
Expose them to the casual audience, please, because they deserve that.
yeah.
And then you have the Kabuki Warriors who decided to mist Oscar, I mean, not Oscar, mist Alexa and Charlotte while they were recovering backstage. Because of course they're trying to go after the tag titles, so they're trying to get in their heads. So that was crazy.
This
So
reminds me of
yes.
that one gimmick with Stone Cold and the
Oh
former.
God. That that promo with that terrible man and Stone Cold just makes me laugh every time. Every time I would see it, it made me laugh so hard, especially the with the pan. But yeah, I get what you're saying. But I just did not expect Oscar to just pop up on them and then just miss them like that. I was like, oh my god.
They're all so funny.
Yep, they got to keep their head on a swivel.
How does
Alexa and
Oscar put
Charlotte.
the mist in her mouth? What
I
is
have
that?
no clue. I have no clue because when I was a child, I used to think that the mist was Listerine. So I did. I really thought that it was Listerine growing up. So I'm not the person to answer that question for you. So yes, and I remember Tajiri was the first Japanese wrestler I ever saw use the mist. And he
Ah.
always used the green mist. And because it was green, I thought it was Listerine. So
It is
yeah.
green.
Yeah, it can be green, it can be red, it
Yeah.
could be purple, it could be any color, really. But growing up, I really did think it was full on Listerine. But it's not. Um, but either way, it burned your eyes.
Mm.
And it's clear that it burned the eyes of Charlotte and Alexa. So the Kabuki Warriors are just going on a warpath with everybody. But I wonder if they'll have that same energy when Io and Rhea come back.
It's gonna be interesting to see how that turns out.
Mm-hmm. Real interesting. And
Oh,
speaking of real interesting, we got to get into my girl Z, Zelina, who is now just known as Zelina now, not even Zelina Vega, just Zelina. But
hmm.
I feel like these days, Zelina as its own thing, it deserves to be because the idea that she can be as reptilian as she is, but be as harsh, it's just nuts. She got in Cody's face after he wanted to go out with the people. And they came out, and Alistair was like, "Look, I want to fight you for the title or whatever." And Zelina was like, "Look," she said, "Too bad your nightmare begins now." And she rubbed on the title and popped him in his face. And I was like, "Girl, Zelina, babe, this is what we're doing." That's my girl, though. That is my girl, and she looked good. Oh, the slap, Jesus.
I know. Oh my gosh, that's why. Wow, I immediately thought of Brandy, his Cody Rose's wife.
Me too.
My gosh, like I tweeted out to her. I said, Brandy, girl, OG, like oh my gosh, like she's at home with two children, and then she had to see her husband get slapped. I don't know what's worse, that or or what how or what Becky Lynch did to CM Punk.
Right. But then she had to go and motorboat my husband. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Like what was that? But wow, and
I'm just low key glad it wasn't. You want to know what's so funny though? This made me think about that time she actually poisoned Montez Ford and during the pandemic when she was with Andrade. And then Bianca found out and then jumped her at her house on the stream. That was so funny to me. Oh my god. But yeah, Zelina, she has a history of popping people and getting crazy with people's husbands, and it's just so funny. And then her husband is standing right there, and it's just like, bruh. And here again, when they made their entrance in the main event, I was just like, bruh, do I need to leave you guys alone?
I think once Zelina slaps Cody, I feel like Brandy will make her debut.
No.
She'll come back
I, I
into action. She has to.
I don't know.
Or if not in ring, then probably like just on the mic, or like
Maybe.
his manager or valet or whatever.
Like, who the
That's
hell told you it was open mic night? Oh my
hey,
god.
yes.
That would be so funny.
I know.
But it
Yeah.
would be very substantial and I would love it. But, I guess it just depends on the circumstance. But then you also have Damian Priest chasing after Alistair too. And it
Oh,
could be argued, since she laid hands on him a little bit, that Lola could come up and get in her face for that. So I don't know, man. But Zelina is my girl, and she continues to serve Dark Queen realness with her
mm,
husband, and it's just great.
yeah.
So, and seeing her touch that WWE championship made me feel some kind of way. I was just like, Zelina for WWE champion. Give her the big gold belt. I'm delusional. I'm sorry. Um, but still, I mean, I want my Delulu to become Tralulu.
Yeah.
Make Zelina the undisputed WWE champion, please. And then she'll fight everyone.
Yes.
That would be fun. I love it. I love this. This whole segment was fire. And then their match was really good too. Cody and Alistair, it was very hard hitting, very, fast paced. I loved it. It was great.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then the Miz, oh my God, he cut a very passionate promo too. And I feel like this is where, when he feels underestimated, I feel like this is when he cuts the best promos, because he literally got on camera and spoke his piece as to why he doesn't feel like he should be in the tournament and why he should be John Cena's last match, period. Because, he main evented WrestleMania with John Cena 27 in Atlanta. I was there.
That was my first.
And
That was my first WrestleMania I ever watched.
yeah, and they had a very astounding rivalry, back in the day.
Yeah.
So the idea that he wasn't picked to be one of his last opponents outside of this tournament is a huge disservice. And I hate that he does have to, qualify for that. And you could tell that he was frustrated, about it in that promo. And I was kind of frustrated too because I wrote an article about, people who he should be facing. And The Miz was one of the people who I chose. And I was just like, so I understand his frustration behind it. But I guess it has to do with a lot of different things that we don't even know about, like scheduling and so many other things.
Yeah.
But, in a perfect world, if his retirement tour were to just go on a little bit longer,
Why do I
he
feel
could
like
fit people in. But,
I feel like it will.
you do?
But that's yeah, I just or is that just my like Delulu? Why
No,
Delulu?
I feel like I thought about that too. Like when he was fighting AJ Styles at Crown Jewel and you kept watching him hit all those moves and everything, I was just like, bro, like if he really wanted to, he could keep this going for at least 2 more months if he wanted to.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel right
Yeah.
at all. Like it and what would you do to all end into my I'm sorry, it's a John Cena song I
Oh
love.
Jesus. Don't I love that song so much.
Oh, but yeah, that I feel like
Oh,
it
jeez.
does deserve to have at least one more match with John Cena. Like that
Yeah.
whole rivalry with Cena and The Miz and Alex Riley by his side was so fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know at this point. A lot of men are have potential to face John Cena for his final match. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hard to tell right now.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell because with this tournament, it's looking like the tournament really is like the way that they're looking to wrap up who's going to be the last person to do it. But if it weren't for the fact that this tournament was the thing to lead to the end, I feel like maybe if John Cena fell up to it, he could do it for 2 more months
Yeah.
at the very least. But and then of course they made the announcement that LA Knight is fighting a surprise opponent that we're not gonna find out about until next Friday.
Oh God.
And I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous as to who it could be.
On SmackDown.
Yes. Who like oh my God. I'm so nervous. Because Nick Aldis said that it was going to be a surprise. And I'm like, who is it? Who is it? Is it Edge? I just don't know. But it's pretty exciting stuff that's going on, but oh God, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
But we've reached the end of our time together. It is getting kind of late. It's 11:56 Central Standard Time. So if you guys are still watching live, thank you guys so much for watching and listening to us talk wrestling. Of course, you can um if you weren't able to watch it live, you can watch it on the YouTube channel, which is the Hardy Wrestling Podcast with the logo with HWP in the diamond shaped ring. You can also listen to the show when it becomes available on audio via Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other places as well. Amazon Podcasts and so many other places. And just continue to support me. Follow me, your girl Stephanie Hardy, on Instagram and Twitter at Queen Steph Hardy. You can follow the show on Instagram at Hardy Wrestling Podcast and on Twitter at Hardy WrestlePod. And also read my articles on dailyddt.com and continue to support my work there. And just if you're looking for commentators or ring announcers or whatever, book your girl. Email me or DM me and we can figure stuff out. Bianca, tell people where they can find and follow you.
You can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Bianca Addison, Bianca, A2Dison. And you can also support my ring announcing journey on TikTok at Ebony Rose Ringside. That's EBONI Rose Ringside.
Yeah, and
On Instagram as well at Ebony Rose Ringside.
yeah, and of course, if you see me post on TikTok about, the show and tag her in it, you can find her on all of my clips. You can follow me on TikTok at Stephanie, I think Stephanie Hardy _4. I think that's what it is. If it's not that, then either way, just look up Stephanie Hardy and you'll find me there. On TikTok. We can get those followers up as well. So, of course, this has been the Hardy Wrestling Podcast with the girls, Stephanie Hardy and Bianca Addison. And until next time, have a fantastic weekend. Bye, y'all.
Bye!